misunderstand. Cause in the name of Jesus Christ we were blessed at first. We forgive down, singing the stars away. We will sing till we dry the stars away. Please don't cry, please don't change the blood away. And I know I don't know who you are, but I know we are family. I know it, I know it, I know it. I got my mother, my father, my sister, and love. Yeah, I know it, I know it, I know it.
Okay, without any waste of time, because we are actually fully aware that we're actually running a bit late, so I'm going to allow Memukuna to come and actually welcome us. And through that, I know that we'll actually flow. Presentation will start flowing, and we hope and believe that it's going to be a very interesting presentation. Thank you.
In the in-court meetings, allow me to give my parent greeting with all of you, all protocol observed. I'd like to thank everyone for making time to share this moment with us, because working with these learners, I know this is very important for them, and I thank you very much, colleagues, for making it to the session. I hope whatever that we're going to get from them will also be fruitful to us, also as educators, because these are the challenges that we face here in school and outside the boundaries, of course. And I believe that whatever the solutions they may have that they are going to present to us are going to help us very much in dealing with these challenges, because after all, they are the ones who are mostly faced with them, and as their parents, we have to help them in solving those challenges. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. I think maybe just to add much on what you just actually indicated, that we actually from two organizations, known as ADAPT and the other one known as PAW. And PAW stands for People Opposing Women Abuse, and ADAPT stands for Artisanal Domestic Abuse Prevention and Training. These are two sister organizations conventions to provide counseling for abused women. But with ADAPT, we're actually working with men as part of the solution, addressing gender-based violence issues. So we actually came to Matlake, I think we started coming to Matlake last year. That's when we started coming to the school to ensure that we come and engage with learners. We work with peer educators, mainly focusing on sexual violence issues. So these are our peer educators that we actually engage with on time at a time when we come to this high school, where we ensure that we address sexual violence issues. So they are the ones that are going to actually be doing the presentations. The core presentation of today is the code of conduct. So they will be actually presenting the code of conduct. And they will actually give us a brief background on how they actually came about developing the code of conduct, what informed them to actually end up developing that code of conduct. So I don't want to end up doing their presentation, because I strongly believe that they will be able to actually give us even the background of the Teens Alliance in sexual violence, how it started. So I think my presentation somehow is going to be presented by them. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I think you can actually, the floor is yours. You can start with your presentation. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Anila Khatyewe and I'm an openly speaker. What I have learned in my knowledge is that women are the most sexually violated people, and we are opposing women abuse, which is power. People opposing women abuse. If a person is raped, the victim may feel that it is her fault for being raped, while the perpetrator is living a happy free life without fear. Survivors who are sexually violated, I see them as heroes because they break the silence. Most people think that women are vulnerable, weak, and easy to hurt. Doctors, lawyers, social workers, and police really think when a person is raped. We are men doesn't rape. If you are men and thinking of raping a woman with very life to end, the very same woman will rape you. Have you thought of the consequences of your actions that change and well, a lady, a mother, and a granny's life. STI, sexually transmitted infections. Unplanned pregnancy. STD, sexually transmitted disease. HIV, human immunodeficiency virus. Leave a negative person to a positive person. Leave a person taking the use of ARVs. ARV is a short for antiretroviral. ARV is a medication that is used to fight HIV. Let's fight sexual abuse assault. Our country is in trouble with unreported crimes. Let us report it. Let's break the silence. My voice can change the world. A verse is better than a sword because there will be no bloodshed and solving a problem. Let us unite in one voice. We shall conquer. United we stand, divided we fall. Ask yourself these questions. Are you a real man? Do you think that women are vulnerable? But in ever further, thinking global, injury to one, injury to all. Thank you.
The pleasure and the honors are for me standing in front of you is Sharon Elite. Protocol observed. I'm here to give you a quick introduction about all the mission that we found ourselves in. Power and Adapt came to our school to rescue the youth from the trauma they were facing. We attended a 5-day camp where we tackled sensitive topics. We were instructed to go back to our school where we share all the information that we received. And we were instructed to initiate campaigns. Yes, we did. Allow me to do a quick recap. The first time when we introduced our campaign to the school, a lot of people commented. And then what I remember once a wise man said, in each and every end of a tunnel, there is light. But then and don't get too excited because that light, it might be a train. But then to us, it was a light to success. The first time in our campaign, we made a research because in our school, sexual violence is committed each and every day and they are unreported. And then we made a research and we found in the school code of conduct, there's no section which is talking about sexual violence. And then we saw that as our second mission and we created our own code of conduct which is talking about all the sexual violence and how to deal with it. And then ladies and gentlemen, help me to welcome my fellow schoolmates. And then ladies and gentlemen, what I'll say today is that please forgive me for my manners for not greeting you, and then consider yourself greeting. Thank you.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I go by the name of Sabine, and I'm a fellow member of Teens and I am in the Sexual Violence School. I'm going to talk about the school code of conduct, the misconduct, and the corrective actions of them. We also have the procedures and the expectations from the management of the school. We created this code because we have seen that in our school, learners and educators are committing sexual violence, and which is wrong. Educators are having a relationship with learners. So we as the leaders, we've made these rules to ensure that learners and educators are treating each other with respect and dignity for a safe school environment. So I will leave it to Span. Thank you.
Oh, military soldiers, marching as for war. Are you free or are you dead? People pardon one of the peaceful performs the picture of my I am the peace man. I want him to peace with people for peace. I was just a passer. I saw them cover him with gills, heard him scream with pain, like a victim of slaughter. I smelled fresh blood gone from his nostrils, and fell on his feet. Knocked into the church, knelt down with my knees. Oh Lord, I love you. I also love my neighbors. I came out in church, my heart just like the St. Angel's keys on the cheek of the saintly song. Then she came in, my woman neighbor. Have you heard? They have raped your sister. Oh no, I've heard nothing. I've been in church. Ladies and gentlemen, I go by the name of Sefan. I'm here to present the school's code of conduct. I was just they say proper preparations prevents poor performance. Gone are the days when we were sexually violated, when teachers used to violate children, children violate teachers, and teachers violate teachers. So today I came from the atmosphere to the troposphere, from the troposphere to the atmosphere, then to the air. I came to set free those who are oppressed and proclaim liberty to the captives. The school's code of conduct goes as follows. There are misconduct and corrective actions that will be taken. Making rude jokes of a sexual nature. This happens mostly in class between learners, whereby a learner will be making a sexual joke to another learner. Something like go baby, go sling, go fitness, something like that. This is what should be done to the fellow learner. Educator or principal gives a verbal warning to learners below 18 years. Educator or principal gives detention to a learner who is above 18 years. Threatening, assault, and intimidation of fellow learners. Verbal threats and name calling, homophobic bullying, a form of sexual bullying that targets gay and lesbian people because of their sexual orientation. We at school to learn not to be threatened. And it's our duty to see that everybody is not threatened at school. This is the misconduct that should be taken to the floor. Educator or principal gives a verbal and written warning to the offender. Offender must attend conflict resolution in a peer education group for a specific period. Pornography distribution. It happens day in and day out, whereby teachers don't know about it, but we learners know about it. But you're keeping quiet about it. We don't know why. Maybe we are scared of the parameters. Offender attends disciplinary hearing just to share with us what have you learned to them. What is the incomes and the outcomes of pornography distribution? Distributing pornography, either pictures, videos, or any form of pornography that can be distributed with consent or not consent. Improper suggestions of a sexual nature. Sexting. Sexting is talking physically or texting with a phone, but the main topic is sex to fellow learners. It happens to learners, teachers and learners, though we're not sure about teachers and learners. But then to learners and learners, it's an educator having a relationship with a learner. This happens day in and day out in our country. However, we find that educators get involved in relationships, and not just relationships, but sexual relationships with learners. With sexual favors involved, either marks, money, knowing that learners are vulnerable. Management of the school must report the matter to the Department of Education to take charge of the case. The educator has to be suspended with immediate effect for investigations to take place to that effect. This one, criminals ought to be in jail, not living with this. So, when you attempt to force a learner, somebody about lower than 16 years, to have sexual intercourse with you, it's a total crime because it's age advantage to them. And in that case, the teacher who will be found guilty of doing that will be taken to jail, or the contract will be terminated. Persistent violations despite previous corrective measures, public indecency, sexual assault, violation, and rape. Rape is forcing someone to have sexual intercourse with you, either orally, like they say, inserting an object inside the girl's vagina. It happens between students. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to say this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for the audience opportunity. And thank you for your attention. The person who might not be agreeing with this code of conduct, as good as a black man wearing a black suit, such as a black kid in the Chinese.
Director PC, and I'm a fellow member of Teen Alliance in ending sexual violence in schools. Today I'm going to talk about the procedure for addressing serious cases where the criminal is being committed at school. Firstly, the learner's parents, the guardians, the caregivers must be informed when a child is being charged with sexual violence. All sexual violence against the children must be reported to the police immediately. Failure to do so is illegal and will have a result on a person who has been charged with this criminal offense. The expectations from management of the school. On basis that the rules are to be clearly understood by the people they are directed to, so that they comply with the expected behavior from them. The rules are expected to form part of school code of conduct. All learners and all teachers are supposed to sign the code of conduct to show that they agree to respect the code. And again, it is also expected that the management ensure that the code will be implemented at school so that we have a safe environment for all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your presentations. I think I'm hoping that we're going to actually engage into discussions. We're going to allow questions, and we're going to allow Teens Alliance members to actually answer some of the questions, and before and after here will actually assist in answering those questions. Question within the code of conduct. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. On page 5 about pornographic distribution, these learners are the ones who are carrying the phones, the cell phones, and of which they know that they are not supposed to. And they still do these pornographic distributions. And they tend to be proactive in terms of when they are being searched. They devise means every day, day in and day out, of hiding these cell phones and coming to school with them. So I'm happy if they are the ones that feel that it is not okay to do these things. But yet the instrument, the cell phones, they still have a problem with it. So I'm a bit confused. How are they going to try to make this effective? To start with the cell phones. How are you going to make sure that your fellow learners leave those cell phones at home? Because you know that you are being searched, but you still manage to come with them. And worse, you do the worst thing, distributing pornographic matters, of which they are not of your age.
Okay.
So they are the main part of the problem, and yet I'm a bit confused. How are they going to come up with a solution in that?
Okay, thank you, ma'am. The question is on the floor. There's one hand. You know that, ma'am? There's another hand. I would actually love, there's another hand. I would actually love to hear a response from you learners. And as well, LRC, because LRC is here. RCA, yes. RCA is here. So, their response to the question, I think we would really love to hear as well. President, Deputy, I think I'll actually allow a response from LRC before moving to other people to actually raise their hand. LRC?
It's the same thing.
629. Okay? You still thinking?
I think the solution to that would be a solution. A solution to that would be that I think with teachers or maybe the guards from the gate, after searching from the gate, they should then go to class and search for phones, because then at the gate we enter a lot of us. So then they won't be able to search us properly. And then from there on,
when we get to class, they start hiding their phones elsewhere. But then I think it would be appropriate if those guards go again in the classes and search everyone. And every learner should leave their bags on their table and get searched in their bag as well.
Okay, everyone is protected. Okay, I'm going to allow. No, before you do, my sister.
But me, I think your suggestion will be the waste of time. To put them by the structure to do the meeting with our parents. Then the principal must tell our parents that before we leave, they should take our phone in the morning so that they have that proof that consider the foods they go through. Because that will be a waste of time. That was such an answer. So our parents, they will make sure. I want to phone get
We play the ball, we don't play the president, right? This is the ball, this is the situation. This is what we play. We don't play a president.
Answering your question, we know that most of us don't listen to their parents. I would put it like that. So telling our parents, they did have a meeting, I'm sure of that. And telling our parents that we're bringing phones to school. But what has happened? Nothing, actually. So I think that waste of time would be probably a good thing. There won't be much time wasted. 5 minutes, that's it.
Okay, I'm going to allow you to wait for your contribution.
Good afternoon, everyone. I was just indicating that already educators have their own code of conduct. So I had a problem with that question talking about educators because we know our code of conduct and even the disciplinary measures. We have Circular 65 of 2007 guiding us. We know the procedures. So and I was of the idea that this code of conduct is for learners. So educators should not form part of this code of conduct because already we are covered as employees.
Dr. I just have a question based on your proposal. I understand educators have their own code of conduct, but Dr. The reason why I'm asking is, it just coming to my mind now, do the learners know the rules that are in your code of conduct? Because here, the reason why we brought this particular portion is because it affects both. You know, where an educator now has a relationship with the learner, different from where we have educators having a relationship with educators. They have their rules that are governing them and they definitely know their procedure. But now, the challenge here is where a learner engages with an educator. Because now we're approaching the third party with a learner, and we need this learner to also know the rules and the guidelines in that regard. I don't know.
It was not communicated to learners. It was only communicated to us as employees who will be affected by the code of conduct. So learners do not know about our code of conduct. And also when there are allegations of sexual relationships, those are being investigated if they are being brought to the attention of the management. But if up to so far nothing has been brought to the attention of the management, we don't know of such.
That's why I think it's so difficult to even bring, to actually assess the situation where Elena is involved. Because once Elena is involved in her ignorance, because such communication is not given to her or him, it becomes difficult for her to report, for investigations to take effect.
Okay, can I come in? In that regard, that would mean empowerment should be given to learners so that they know their rights with regard to this, so that they can also report. So you've got to start there, empowering learners about their rights with regard to these issues, so that they report them.
Yeah, but also I don't know whether now we agree that this particular aspect needs to be here because it involves the third party who's a learner.
Yeah.
Because I think empowerment starts where you are empowering me on something that I know.
on a particular right. That I know that if an educator proposes a relationship with me, it's a serious violation, and I know I have to report. It should be a starting point. I don't know, we'll discuss it, but I think where we now involving the third party has to know that particular portion that is in your policy as educators that speaks to learners. It has to come into their code of conduct so that they know. So I think it's also part of empowering them, because there won't be investigations if either the victim or the perpetrator on this side does not know that there's such.
I think that will be something that management will actually talk about.
Yeah, I think they also have to talk about it.
To be able to come up with what they say that. Mary, I'm covered. Okay. Colleagues, is there any other contribution, addition, question? We're still taking questions. Contribution as well. I think this is a code of conduct that is actually going to ensure that we address a lot of issues that are actually occurring in our district. It's here to actually strengthen those issues, ensuring that yes, ma'am, we address that.
Okay. My question is, how are these learners who know about this sexual violence, how are they going to make the other learners, the whole student body, the whole learner body aware of this, that they know that they are taking us now?
Thank you, ma'am, for that question. Members of Teams Alliance, your question, ma'am. How are you going to ensure that you empower other learners concerning these issues that we're actually talking about? Here, code of conduct, they propose it. The question goes, how are you going to ensure that other learners, they know about these issues? Yes, sir.
Yes, like I feel that's the thing to use then I don't know code of conduct I'm going to use that this year's last year, the last 2 months. Assembly sometimes ordinarily order the car. My house is the same thing that last class. Because the class is Bahona Honorisha, they are that to me.
Okay. LRC, this is the code of conduct. Let's say management already it's been approved. How best can we ensure that we disseminate this information to other learners? That was the question from them. How are we going to ensure that other learners are empowered about these issues that we're actually talking about?
I think we have them to get class to class and
Class to class. My shift.
So, what if
yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
If you allow me, I just want to wrap that up to say, it's interesting to hear the student representatives saying they will make sure that at least each and every class is visited by the educators to really present and also allow learners to ask questions, because that is one of the initiatives. So high legitimate means they are endorsing it. So I think it's also important for us to also remember how Section 8.4 of the South African School Act provides that all learners attending a school are bound by the code of conduct of that particular school
And it also mentions that all learners attending a school are expected to sign a statement of commitment of the code of conduct, meaning that immediately after presentations in their respective classes, each and every learner is going to be given a copy of the code of conduct, so that we are sure that they know the law that is going to be applying to them in the school, to make it easy for the management to really enforce it, because it's so to avoid issues of ignorance, where one learner will say, I did not know that there's such a rule that affects me. So I think that's the procedure that we need to align ourselves with in light of the South African Schools Act, which I think management is also aware of. So we're trying to align ourselves.
Okay, yes ma'am?
Stephen, according to this information about sexual misconduct, in our life orientation classes, we do this. It's part of our syllabus. We attend each and every point in this sexual violence. These kids know about this sexual violence. They do this on their own. So they know very well about this issue.
I'm happy that they know about these issues. So the code of conduct will be able to be there to ensure that if they perpetuate these issues, whatever misconduct, how best we actually address those issues. A code of conduct, I think it serves as one of the policies that we're going to use to ensure that we address these issues if they occur in our present or in our school. Yes, ma'am?
I think what we're looking at here, ma'am, is that there's a victim and there's the perpetrators. Yes, the perpetrators can be ignorant and they can be the ones that are perpetrating, but let's look at the victims. The students, these students are the ones that actually came up with this code of conduct. Ne? They're the ones that sat down and said, you know what, we're experiencing such and such a problem in the school. And I'm sure some of the educators are aware of some of the stuff that are in the code of conduct, right? And yes, we do educate these people, but the code of conduct, as it says, binds them. And they must know that there's consequences, because right now, yes, they know that this and this and this is happening, but they're still doing it because there's no rule against it. There's no rule against it, and with the code of conduct, they'll make sure they'll have to either abide or face the consequences. And that's why we actually, the peer educators are coming to the management. They're not doing this alone. They need the support of the management as well. Because as much as it is helping them, the students, it is also helping management manage the school in terms of addressing the issue of sexual violence within the school. So I think the peer educators are reaching out to management and saying, can you help us in addressing such an issue that we are facing within our classes, within the school playgrounds and all that. Thank you.
Thank you, Noma. Peer supporters, we strongly believe that they will be working hand in hand with the management. Our orientation educators trying to ensure that they address these issues. They will report and ensuring that people who are actually perpetuating those issues, they tend to I think that's the whole direction that they actually coming out with. I think that's the direction that we got in terms of the role of the peer supporters here in the school. It will be working hand in hand with educators, identifying issues, and finding a very correct way on how best can they actually address these issues. I think that's going to be one of the. I think we actually touched based on a lot of issues here. I think we spoke about activities to implement the code, and the responses from the management. And I think from our program, we were supposed to have someone or representative from the Department of Education, and unfortunately they're not here. I think we'll actually communicate with them just to follow up that. So I think we are actually reaching that point where somehow they are failed. But before that, I'm going to allow contributions, questions from learners, management, and then probably we'll take it from there.
Thank you.
motion for Melissa to read out the binding contract.
Okay. Okay. Melissa, I have to come and read the binding of the contract, of the code of conduct. I think if there's no more questions, contribution, I think we can eventually allow Melissa to come and do it. Pali?
My name is Melissa from Kowa. In fact, my work was supposed to start at a point where we're talking about what is it that we need to implement the code of conduct, but I think the questions have actually led us to answering those issues in terms of what is it that will happen from here. As we have already talked about the fact that we are going to give at least management the remaining 2 weeks of this month. I hope that will work well. Remaining 2 weeks of this month, so that at least in April we get a feedback in terms of your contributions, so that at least we have a document that you are saying this is our document that we feel.
Can I please remember that on Friday the 6th will only be open on the 5th of April.
Okay, so we had extended to probably the 2nd week of April. Would that be fine for the 3rd? Third week.
I suggest third week because during the first week of the term, we'll be busy with administrative work. Too much of it. Because we are expected to submit when we open.
Those contributions, at least we have set up for the 3rd week, which is the time frame that will work for all of us. So immediately after.
Okay, my other suggestion would be maybe for the school management to also engage the school governing body. So will then 2 weeks be enough to also engage with the parents regarding the code of conduct?
Or might have just extended towards the end of the month.
I think if we are going to, to engage the SGB towards the end of the month would be fine for us.
Then we take the one of the end of the month. But I think if ever there are any alterations for a time or any other things that come before that, or if at all it happens that it's sealed before that end of the month, then we'll still be happy for that, and I think Mem will give us the feedback. So I think even before we start going into classes, once we have had your contributions and we have sat down together now as a whole to have a final document, then it's expected that all the parties would agree that based on the presentations that were made and the document presented to all parties involved, the corrections having been made, which is actually what's contained in this binding document, to say having made all the amendments, necessary amendments, with the educators present, we'll actually have to change also the date to say at the end of it all, the management will be binding itself to implementing this code of conduct in the school in the presence of both core and adapt, the educators here at Mateke, as well as the student representatives and the parents, which we think are some of the key parties that need to know that there is such. So I think just to read it, it says, having had presentation on sexual violence, code of conduct made by peer educators in any sexual violence in schools, we who are learners at Matake Secondary School, and the document presented to all management members and educators present on the 16th, which is today, having made necessary amendments to the document, the management of Matake Secondary School therefore feels that it's important for the sexual violence content to form part of the school's overall code of conduct. Not only should it form part of the code of conduct, but we are also willing to ensure its implementation in our school. I think This is just to say we are willing to have it enforced in our school. So we just have the proper signatories sign the document, and then to give a leeway now to the peer educators to do the presentation in the respective classes. I think that should be the way to go, unless if there are any questions or any other comments. So take this part. Are you comfortable? Hey, if you want to go on out of war, whilst I was at the end.
No, here's what
I was suggesting that maybe the signing part of it be done after everybody has made an input and they are happy with the product.
Yes, it will certainly be after all the made their contributions, and we will actually amend the document as we want it to be.
Yes. For 5 years, and the first year the project has been implemented in the school. And as we speak, our donors are very excited about the work that has been done here so far. And I think as educators and management, you should be very proud of the students, because these are your products. And if we do adopt the code of conduct, it's something that is going to be replicated in other schools. We only have 2 schools in City, but we have 10 schools in Ekurhuleni. So you can imagine the impact of the work that has been done here being replicated in the 10 schools in Tembisa. Actually, they cannot claim this work, but they would have to all the time refer to the work that has been started here and been done here. So I think it's exciting times for the school, and you should be very proud of yourselves and the learners. So thank you very much for taking time off to be with us. And thank you very much to the learners and the RCL. We are hoping that you will take leadership in terms of endorsing the product that has been developed by your peers, and you will also join the group. I think the hardest work is to ensure that the management can adopt and you can also adopt, but the hardest work is to implement. And implementation lies with all of you sitting here to say you are going to be champions of ending sexual violence in your schools. And it is quite important to take that role as very seriously. And I think I'm very glad to see the last time when we were here, and I think in November, we were here with our donor comic relief, and I still see the same students. So for me, it shows sustainability of the project. Even when power leaves, the school will be able to sustain this project. So I'm glad that we piloted here. Sidibeng is one of the regions that is normally ignored. You know, things happen in Joburg or in Tembisa or wherever, so Sidibeng is ignored. And I'm hoping that, you know, after the 5 years, we can get 10 more schools, you know, to implement the project in Sidibeng. So thank you very much for this opportunity, and thank you very much for engaging in the project. Thank you.
Thank you, Program Director. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Yeah, I wish to express my gratitude to forward and adapt, especially for having chosen us as a school to pilot this, and we are really grateful for that. And to you, learners, thank you very much for taking the initiative. I know when you approached me last year about this, I was a bit skeptical, but then I can see that you meant business. Yeah, having gone through that document, it's not that bad. Yeah, I don't think that by asking questions you are shooting down on it. It's a good product. We only have to discuss it, engage with all stakeholders, like you said, the SGB, so that they too have an input, and then finally it is adapted. I must also say that once it is adapted, I'll be talking to the HOD for orientation, that when they treat this part of their syllabus, they will also deal with the code of conduct. To say, as a school, when we are dealing with this, we have customized our response to this, how we are going to deal with it and so on. So that will be part of the implementation. So every year, from grade 8 to grade 12, will be part of the curriculum. So we shall adopt it as such. And I wish to thank you very much, the choir that has come on to sing. You heard that very beautiful music. We really appreciate that. And remember what our motto is as a school. Can I ask anyone what it is? Education empowers. I think this is what we are doing to empower you as our youth. And it is part thereof. So keep on taking part in initiatives of this nature. You get empowered as you go. Once again, thank you very much to the organizers. And we hope to meet again and take this further. Thank you very much for this idea that has taken part in all this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, the principal, for the warm inclusive remarks.
The God in me recognize the God in